Hello and welcome back to the Combat Intel Media. Today, we're tracking a story that's sending shockwaves through the global defense community. North Korea has officially honored its troops reportedly fighting alongside Russian forces in Ukraine. This unprecedented move marks a bold step in Pyongyang's growing alignment with Moscow, deepening concerns about a new military axis forming in Eurasia. According to multiple intelligence and diplomatic sources, a special ceremony was held in Pyongyang this week, attended by top officials from the Korean People's Army, senior members of the Workers' Party, and Russian representatives. During the ceremony, medals, commendations, and honorary titles were awarded to North Korean military advisors and volunteers who, according to state media, fulfilled their duty in defending the sovereignty and dignity of allied nations. While Russia has denied the presence of official North Korean combat units on the Ukrainian front lines, satellite imagery and field intelligence suggest otherwise. Reports indicate that small groups of North Korean artillery specialists and drone operators have been active near Luhansk and Donetsk regions currently under heavy Russian control. Their mission: to assist Russian forces in artillery calibration, logistics support, and battlefield engineering. State television in Pyongyang broadcast segments showing soldiers receiving medals under portraits of Kim Jong and Vladimir Putin, accompanied by slogans praising the unity of revolutionary forces. Kim himself was quoted saying, "Those who fight shoulder to shoulder with our Russian comrades are the true guardians of peace against imperialist aggression." This marks a significant escalation in North Korea's foreign policy. Historically, Pyongyang maintains symbolic ties with Moscow, but rarely engaged in direct combat cooperation. However, the ongoing war in Ukraine seems to have changed that. Experts now believe North Korea has found an opportunity to strengthen its military reputation while securing much-needed resources from Russia, such as the fuel, food, and advanced missile technology. According to Western defense analysts, this partnership has grown increasingly transactional. Russia, struggling to maintain its war machine under crippling sanctions, is believed to be trading energy supplies and possible satellite data assistance in exchange for North Korean ammunition and labor. In fact, satellite photos have already shown increased rail traffic across the Russia-North Korea border, a route previously dormant for years. A senior South Korean intelligence official stated that hundreds of North Korean military engineers and drone technicians have been deployed covertly under the guise of reconstruction workers. Many of those individuals are reportedly veterans of North Korea's artillery brigades, among the most experienced in Asia. Meanwhile, the United States and its allies have condemned this cooperation. The U.S. State Department has accused Pyongyang of directly violating multiple United Nations sanctions, warning that any country facilitating arms or manpower transfers with Russia will face serious consequences. NATO officials have also expressed alarm, saying that this alliance could extend the Ukraine war and embolden other authoritarian states to intervene in regional conflicts. Inside Russia, however, the reaction has been celebratory. Pro-Kremlin media outlets are hailing the North Korean involvement as a symbol of international solidarity against the West. In Moscow, crowds reportedly gathered near the North Korean embassy, waving both Russian and DPRK flags, a visual that hasn't been seen since the Cold War era. Military analysts note that North Korean soldiers bring decades of experience in tunnel warfare, artillery concealment, and asymmetric combat tactics, skills that could give Russian forces a strategic edge in eastern Ukraine's difficult terrain. Some Ukrainian defense officers have claimed to encounter unfamiliar munitions marked with Korean characters, suggesting direct battlefield participation or supply transfers. Ukraine's government, in response, has strongly condemned the reported North Korean involvement. A statement from Kyiv described it as an illegal and hostile act that exposes North Korea as a direct participant in the war. Ukrainian intelligence claims it has already identified communications between Russian commanders and Korean military advisors stationed near occupied territories. This development could also reshape the diplomatic landscape in Asia. Analysts warn that if North Korean forces are officially recognized as combatants, it may prompt stronger military coordination among U.S. allies, particularly South Korea and Japan, both of whom are already on high alert. Furthermore, Pyongyang's decision to publicly honor its fighters is not just about recognition, it's about messaging. By celebrating those who fought alongside Russia, Jong is signaling defiance to Washington and Seoul, asserting that North Korea is no longer an isolated state but part of a growing anti-Western coalition. Experts believe this move could also be designed to test international reaction and measure how far Pyongyang can push its cooperation with Moscow before triggering a new round of sanctions on military deterrence. Meanwhile, in Washington, discussions are intensifying about possible new sanctions targeting North Korean shipping, cyber networks, and financial institutions. Officials are also exploring ways to block the transfer of military technology between Moscow and Pyongyang, fearing that Russia could provide satellite or missile guidance systems in return for manpower and munitions. In Seoul, the mood is tense. South Korean defense officials have increased surveillance along the demilitarized zone, suspecting that North Korea may soon test new long-range artillery systems based on lessons learned from the Ukraine battlefield. There are growing fears that these experiences could accelerate North Korea's military modernization, especially in drone warfare and counter-battery tactics. As this story unfolds, it underscores a dangerous shift in the global order. The Ukraine war, once seen as a regional conflict, is now drawing in new players from across continents, each pursuing their own geopolitical interests. And North Korea's latest move proves that this war has become more than a fight for territory, it's now a proving ground for future global alignments. For now, the Kremlin continues to deny any official North Korean presence on the front lines, while Pyongyang proudly displays its medals. The truth likely lies somewhere in between, in the shadowy cooperation of two regimes seeking survival and strength against a common adversary. This story will continue to develop, and Combat Intel Media will be tracking every new move, every satellite image, and every diplomatic statement that sheds light on this growing military partnership. Stay with us for continuous updates, detailed analyses, and verified reports from around the globe. This is Combat Intel Media, bringing you the frontline reality behind every headline.